DisAfterDark is a member of the MiceChat Podcast Network. MicePod.com. Now, the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
Warning, this show contains childish adult content and is intended for immature, mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. The views spoken are ours and ours alone, not those of any other bugger. If you're easily offended, we strongly suggest finding another podcast. Everybody neat and pretty, then on with the show. Hello. Yes, here we are, back in the mouse's head again. I am Paul.
I'm Nick.
With a C. And I... Well, you always said a C, to be fair.
Yeah. Was that a K?
Yeah. And I am Paul D, and it's been a while. Good to be back in the mouse's head.
Yeah, we missed you last time.
Thanks. Missed you guys as well.
Well, yeah, we don't believe that for an instant.
At least some people miss us.
But all the listeners missed us. They missed us so much that they told me my audio was rubbish.
And that just goes to prove that people actually listen, because if they didn't listen, they wouldn't be able to tell us.
I know.
I'm trying to listen.
Yeah, I'm crouched over a slightly smaller microphone now, really close to it. Hopefully it doesn't notice my breath after the beer. Anyway, gentlemen, what are we drinking?
I'll kick things off. I've just gone for a simple JD and Coke. Cheers.
Very simple. Very nice.
Just very simple.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. D.
Yeah, I just got some leftover Pims because it's been a nice summer's day here. So it's very English and it makes me want to say Spitspot. That's my connection to Disney. A la Mary Poppins.
A good connection. I hunted high and low to try and find a Disney connected beer because we have moved away from that recently. So I've gone down the in honour of Bob Iger, I have found a beer called Old Bob. Yeah,
I had that a long time ago. I had that in tribute to Bob Hoskins when he died.
Yeah, well, there are many Bobs in the world of Disney, but no, not today, because this show is brought to you by the letter D.
For Dolan.
Among other things?
Indeed, among many other things. But in the meantime, should anyone want to contact the show, because I can't be bothered to do a decent segue, like you, how do they do that?
Well, of course, they can visit our website, which is www.DisAfterDark.com, or they can send us an email at podcast@DisAfterDark.com.
And they can tell us how good our audio is if they tweet us on Twitter. I don't know where I'm going with this. I've lost my place. At DisAfterDark. We're also on Facebook.com/DisAfterDark, and we're on MiceChat.com.
And Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and everywhere else you can find us. No Craig with us tonight. He's working nights, driving dem trains. They don't drive themselves, you know.
No. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop myself. I was going to say something controversial, but I won't bother saying.
What? Very well held back, sir. Very well held back.
I know. It makes a difference to me to do so. Right, where do we want to start?
I don't know. Has anyone actually got any news? Or should we just go straight in and see if we can make an hour show out of the letter D without using it for the word Disney?
Well, I suppose there is something that has come about fairly recently, and that was the footage from Shanghai.
Oh,
did anyone get to see some of that?
Tell me more.
Tell me more. Well, I mean, the reason why I'm obviously so excited is because they showed it's all concept. So obviously, a lot of it is starting to take shape when you see aerial photos from Shanghai, but it's still obviously a good year and a bit away before it opens its doors.
Yeah, I think I know what piece of news you're alluding to, and I saw it and I immediately thought of you, Mick.
Yeah, and that is, of course, the fact that they are having a Tron roller coaster, which that in itself isn't news because that's been on the horizon for quite a while now. But they show some other things as well. So there's a Star Wars exhibit which looks like it could be making its way over to the other parts as well, which is going to be like an interactive exhibit where you can see some of the characters and photo ops and props and that kind of stuff. And also, have you seen their Pirates of the Caribbean ride?
No.
Their Pirates of the Caribbean is a completely different ride, so it's based on the films rather than the attraction.
Oh, right. That is the Circle of Life.
And the Wheel of Fortune. So that's happening, but yeah, the main news, as far as I'm concerned, is Tron. And
do you know have they given the ride vehicle details yet?
Oh yeah,
is it a light cycle? I don't know.
Yeah, you can ride light cycles.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's amazing. Just like the art, they go in 2x2.
Yeah.
Hurrah!
All right.
And yeah, they're shaped like light cycles, so you sit on them as if you were sitting on a cycle, and away it goes. I would doubt very much if there's any kind of loops or corkscrews because of the nature of it, of the ride. The
good old fashioned wall of death.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go for that. But surprisingly, not surprisingly, you can see some elements of Test Track 2.0 there as well.
Yeah.
In the kind of lighting, so
because we didn't see that one happening.
Exactly. It looks like it goes outside as well for a section.
All right.
Which is interesting. Now, really, why I think that's interesting is because the idea behind the third Tron film that we'll never see being made unless they reverse their decision again, was the blending of the computer world with the real world. So I wonder if that was the reason for doing that and having a kind of outside bit, because obviously it should stay on the grid, it should stay in that computer world. But if that's what they're going for, so there's like no real kind of information regarding the story yet's been released. But yeah, the footage is pretty good. Shanghai looks like it's got some interesting ideas. To be honest, so it'll be interesting to see what's going on. And people were surprised that they've actually released the footage now.
I don't know,
and not till Deal 23.
But Flynn's having a bad time in the background.
Oh no, it's Alice.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's proper tears, not doggy tears.
Got some teeth coming through.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's been happening this week. More teeth. But yeah, so I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, D23. So people were surprised that they weren't going to say it was a D23, but I think it's very famously focused on the American parks.
Yeah.
More than any of the others. So I'm not that surprised, to be honest, that they've released it a little bit early.
No, get in there.
Get in there. But yeah, so it looks cool. I mean, obviously it'll be more interesting when they have some final footage. But they did have at this presentation, they actually had the ride vehicle for you to try out. So you could see the real vehicles as well. And yeah, all looks very good. All looks very good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we just got to find a way to get to Shanghai Disney.
Plane.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, maybe we should start a Kickstarter.
I think so.
Get us
maybe that's a way of getting over there. And I think I found a way to tie in news.
Yeah.
With the Alphabet game tonight.
Well, you've got close with a D23 mention.
But I was going to go even further.
Go on then.
Because the letter is D, and D23.
Yeah.
But just 2 days ago, by the time we've recorded this, and not by the time it comes out, obviously, but it was the Diamond Celebration of Disneyland.
It was, wasn't it? 60th.
60 years of Disney theme park magic. Yeah. And of course, none of us were there.
No. Because
podcasting just doesn't pay like that. But did anyone see the footage there from that?
I saw several photographs that people were posting, obviously, of the number 60 a lot.
Yes, they did kind of emphasise that quite a lot.
Yeah,
actually. But yeah, they had a they had Richard Sherman turn up for a rededication ceremony.
Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
Another D there.
Yeah.
Another D. Well, hang on.
What, 2?
Double D.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I suppose, if you want to call him Dick Sherman,
you could do that as well.
Which he did go for a while.
Yeah.
Similar way to how I've dropped a K. He drops his name as well. But yeah, I mean, he looked extremely busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was lovely to be there, and it's, how many times can you say you've been there for something like that as well?
Yeah.
I suppose that's the key thing. And obviously, when it comes to a big celebration like that, there's also merchandise.
Lots of it.
And do you know one of the more impressive things that I saw?
I don't know. Was it a forum posting about money grabbing?
Disney don't do that.
Okay.
It's okay. That person will not listen to this show because we're far too negative about Disney. He might have a heart attack if he hears this show. But no, I'm going to sweep back round to something I've not mentioned for a long time. Because one of the more ludicrous things I saw as merchandise for this. So, obviously they've done everything. They've done T-shirts and, souvenir maps. And there was a souvenir Buena Vista newspaper. And they're kind of cheap things. Then you've got things like Starbucks mugs and all that. But they made a limited edition run of 60 units of a crystal Finalmation.
Okay.
This sold for $250 per piece, plus sales tax.
Okay.
I don't
what was the
know.
Edition size?
60.
Just 60.
$250.
Yeah.
And they only did 60 of them.
I only done 60 of them.
That seems a good investment to me.
I've seen watches that they do 10,007 of, and they sell for £3,500.
Yep.
So I would say a limited edition 260 of for $250, whatever it is a fairly bargain.
Yeah, I mean, I think it sold out.
Yeah.
I mean, if it hasn't sold out, it will sign up very, very soon.
Yeah.
It will do. Because people go mad for that. And the thing is, that's the kind of crossover thing, like you say, that it's not just going to be someone that buys Finalmations will buy.
I take back my money grabbing, because I would have said anything that was only 60 of would have been up to 4 figures.
Mm.
So,
they did release other Diamond Disneyland Finalmations that day as well, but none of them were that kind of limited release.
That is stunning. Only 60 of them.
I mean, it's quite.
Were they blind boxes as well? So you paid 250 quid and didn't get the one you were after?
No, they were all the same colour. Well, but saying that, they did do when the celebrations kicked off. So what are we talking? About 2-3 months ago.
Something like that,
I think the celebrations actually kicked off. They did do a crystal Finalmation at that point, which was blind box actually. It was a silver and a blue.
Oh,
and that was a limited of 2,000, but 1 in 10 was a blue diamond, blue like crystal one, and a white crystal was 9 in 10. So it still means that that was limited to 200, and I think they were about $30 each or something. This new one, I mean, it looks the same as the cheap one, except for the crystals on it are proper crystals.
I mean, are we talking actual crystal, as in like Swarovski,
Like
whatever
Swarovski.
it is?
Yeah.
Or are we talking a clear plastic one called crystal, like Disney Infinity figures?
That was what was on the cheap ones. That's
Right.
what was on the
clear plastic.
Yeah. Or whatever they refer to, man. But yeah, the limited 61 was proper ones.
Oh, sweet.
At least what I can see, because I mean the thing is, like when you see pictures of it, it definitely like glimmered more.
Photoshop's good like that.
eBay's got some wonderful filters when you stick stuff on there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I suppose the good news for you guys is it's still dying out. I don't care what anyone says. Because another example, if proof was further needed, one of the more popular series of animations was called Parks.
Yep.
So Parks
I have heard. Yeah.
Yeah. So Parks had all things that were to do with the parks. So for this one, they released Park 16. That was a Diamond Edition series.
All right.
Unfortunately, Park 15 just never turned up. So that to me shows that they're just gone. Yeah, they're not even paying attention now to what series they've released or which ones they haven't.
What are we up to? Park 19? Yeah, that will do.
Yeah, we must be. It's a bit like when we go. Oh, this is episode
something.
Yeah, whatever.
It's got to be something around that number.
Yeah,
and just not actually caring. So so Ding Dong Funimation's still dying out, but it's clinging on for dear life at the moment.
Excellent. I still haven't got a jingle for the alphabet. We should have.
No.
We still need one. I don't know. Come on, listeners. Give me some ideas. Obviously not right now. That pregnant pause is not waiting for you to shout at the iPad or iPod or other listening devices.
Well, see, I listen to podcasts on the train. So I listen to on public transport normally, and certain podcasts I listen to make me laugh out loud, so I look like a giggling idiot. But I would like somebody who listens to this on public transport and at that pregnant pause start doing a jingle or something. It'd be great, because everyone would be just really confused unless somebody would listen to it at the exact same time.
Likelihood. Oh, hi. Sweet Mary. Okay, right. The letter is D. I know Craig wanted to have some semblance of order, but who hasn't been first yet?
I think I've been first.
I think I had on A. So, Mr. D.
Aptly.
Mr. D. How aptly, yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I know. I couldn't have worked that in at all.
Okay. I had two because I had a backup. It wasn't as easy as you would think. You think because sticking Disney in front of everything is kind of cheating.
We have banned the use of the word Disney as the letter D.
Yeah. So I've gone for an extinct attraction, which has got memories for me, and I've gone for Discovery Island.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Did we not mention it on the last show?
We may have just
that would have been.
We may have alluded to it, but
not
C. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, not in this game. When we was talking to Jen about her trip to Fort Wilderness, I'm sure we mentioned it,
and you can see
on the water park side of things.
Yeah, you can see Discovery Island from there, but that's the one that's Actually, it's all shut down, isn't it? The other water park was River Country.
River Country, yeah.
Which is opposite. Well, it's on. I guess you call the inland. I guess near Fort Wilderness, isn't it?
Yeah.
But Discovery Island, for those who never got there, you would take a boat from the Magic Kingdom, and it was an island, and they had like a little mini zoo there. So there were all sorts of tropical birds, some animals. There was like a little nature centre. There were beaches. You could swing on the hammocks, and you could have a packed lunch there. And it was kind of a predecessor to a bit of the Animal Kingdom, I guess.
Yeah.
So when they actually opened the Animal Kingdom, then they closed Discovery Island. But it was a nice place, especially if you'd been in Magic Kingdom and you wanted to just go somewhere to chill out, take a boat to Discovery Island, grab lunch there, have a the animals, have a walk around, have a snooze on the hammock.
Yeah, on the few times that you actually made it when it was open out there, how busy actually was it?
It wasn't particularly busy. I mean, there were people there, but it was never packed. I can remember us having lunch on the beach, and we were the only people on the little beach on occasion. We probably made it out there 2 or 3 times. I think it was open. It was definitely open in 1998, and then I think it was still open in 2000, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
Yeah, just one of those ideas that just never seemed to work.
Yeah, I think
people,
with opening the Kingdom, I think that really was the end for it. But there were all sorts of other uses that had been rumoured. I mean, I think they talked about putting the sort of DVC property they put at the Polynesian.
Yeah.
I think at one point they were rumoured to be doing a DVC on there, and there's been a few different ideas.
Must be quite a trick to actually, as an island, to get the construction kit out there and clear it of whatever animals there are.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is the brain-eating amoeba in the lake, so
yeah,
you don't want to. You wouldn't go swimming if you were in the DVC there.
No, that'd be.
But it would be an awesome place to stay if they could put like the treehouse villas that were around Saratoga Springs. Yeah, because those tree houses look lovely. But if they could do those on an island, how quiet would that be? Yeah, you'd have to have your own private little boat.
Yeah, it'd be good, wouldn't it? And then, of course, a couple of years ago, then it was kind of back in the limelight again because somebody rather naughtily did swim out there in the middle of the night, took a load of video and photographs and posted them on certain media. So we don't advocate that because that's dangerous.
Yes.
In that lake in the middle of the night, and it's definitely not something we would advocate.
No.
Is it? Really?
Speak for yourself.
But if you did do it and want to come on the show and talk about it, that would be awesome. Not to get in trouble. That is a great D from the Mr. D.
Thank you.
The D Meister. I don't know. Some down with the kids kind of nickname. Yeah. Go on then, Nick. Gives a D.
Well, you know what? Again, I think it was quite hard at first, and then I came up with one, and then when you kind of pull at the strings of something, and then you kind of unravel it a bit more and a bit more and a bit more.
Yeah.
So I was going to lead with, and I'm going to lead with, Dick Tracy.
Nice, cool.
Disney's Dick Tracy.
Yes.
Now, of course, Disney didn't own Dick Tracy. Dick Tracy was a very popular comic strip and radio series and cartoon, anywhere between the 40s and the 80s, depending on what part of that you remember. And Disney made a film with Warren Beatty, who bought the rights, I think, to do this. So it's kind of like a big thing. And this was 1990. So the year before...
Is it Beatty or Beatty? Do we know the correct pronunciation?
Is it Bowie? Is it Bowie?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're listening, please contact us like we told you at the beginning of the show. And we'll change that for you.
Yeah. You might want to, if you do contact us, spell it phonetically. Because just writing, no, it's Beatty, you dumb. It isn't going to help.
That is also true.
We know it's spelled. It's the pronunciation we're missing.
So Dick Tracy came out in 1990. So this was the summer after Batman.
All right.
Now, for those listeners that may not have been around when the 1989 Batman film came out, that film was massive. And not only was that film massive, that was certainly the first time I remember the marketing for a film. Because that Batman logo was everywhere.
Big soundtrack.
Yeah.
Just everything about that film was scream money. Everything. The hype was phenomenal. I was 6, so I couldn't even go to see it at the cinema because it was the first 12 film. It was the reason 12 got introduced in the UK. Was because of Batman. And it's and so Disney saw Dick Tracy as being their attempt to have that big franchise. So
that cartoon superhero type.
Well, yeah, I don't know why exactly. I think they just saw that, well, they had an unlikely lead actor in Michael Keaton for Batman.
Yeah.
Asian Warren Beatty would do a good Dick Tracy. But the because of they kind of went for a very pop art style promotional campaign, didn't they? Like the silhouette of Dick Tracy, and like Batman, actually black and yellow were the main colours. So you could kind of see where they were kind of going with it. And I remember for months leading up to its release, seeing posters for it, seeing toys in the shop. You know, I thought this was going to be just as big as Batman, and so did Disney, because when the MGM Studios theme park also opened up in '89, didn't it? They were hyping the upcoming ride, Dick Tracy's Crime Stoppers. So in a very tenuous way, I've actually gone, I started with Dick Tracy, but my D is actually Dick Tracy's Crime Stoppers.
Where's that? Where was it planned to be?
Right, so this is it. So
far away.
This is great. You know what? I'm so glad about this, because I've been reading up on this ride for years. Because never discussed it.
Because I only remember the fact that there was the Madonna and the Warren Beatty costume as part of the costume building on the backstage tram tour.
Yes,
and it seemed to be there for years past when.
Well, it sounds a bit like the Disneyland Paris backlot tour as well. With some of the things that are on that. Dinotopia, anyone? I mean, honestly, that thing was forgotten as soon as it was shown. So this was going to be a massive e-ticket attraction. It was going to be in Hollywood Studios. It was going to be at the Sunset Boulevard section of the park. And it was going to be the first enhanced motion vehicle ride they had there as well. So for people that have been on Indiana Jones, which I haven't, or Dinosaur in in Animal Kingdom, which I have, that's an enhanced motion vehicle attraction, and this is what this was going to be. Now, there's a few other things with this as well, which when I talk about them may explain a little bit more why it may not have actually happened.
Yeah.
So you got on the vehicles,
all right,
which are going to resemble cars of that era.
Yep.
Okay. Now, do you remember what Dick Tracy does besides being a Crime Stopper?
Well, as far as I'm aware, he drove around shooting bad guys.
Okay.
And solving crimes. That's it. Yeah.
So, with that in mind, what do you think you had to do on this ride?
Wear a yellow coat and shoot stuff?
You had to shoot bad guys.
Oh, okay.
So, I think this is also where it kind of hit a bit of a downfall. So, this was actually from the press release. Guests will literally get into the act in this new high-tech action adventure featuring the very latest in audio animatronics, simulation, sound, and special effects. And they then went on to say, guests will join America's favourite comic strip detective in a high-speed chase with his gangster advisories. And, so the idea being is that you got on these ride vehicles and they were given guns.
All right.
Now, we have now Buzz Lightyear's laser blasts or whatever it's called.
Men in Black in another part.
Men in Black. Now, with those, what are you shooting at?
Yeah, okay, I'm with you. Aliens and dummy target things.
Yeah, you're not shooting things that are supposed to be human beings.
Yeah, okay.
So, I don't get me wrong, right? I'm all for this. I think, as much as, I think America's got a lot of issues with gun culture, this is something I was fully on board with, personally. I think this would have been a bloody good ride. But they actually got to the stage where they do with a lot of these attractions where they actually had it tested. Wow. And they actually had some execs fly over from Japan, from Disneyland Tokyo, to experience this thing. And the wives, they come out, the husbands come with their wives, and the wives are workshopping, they try this ride. And they all loved it, but that was the feedback. Was that, isn't it just a little bit strange?
Not Disney, we're shooting people.
Yeah. It's a little bit like the Alien Encounter Aliens scenario all over again. Yeah. It's not particularly Disney. And so the film itself, I mean, you could barely argue the film itself was really Disney, actually. I mean, it wasn't violent. It probably would have been. It was probably less violent than this ride would have been. But you know, a lot of things were going against it.
I don't know though, Nick. I mean, if you go, you could invoke the Greedo principle, whereby if the baddies shoot first, it's okay.
Yeah. I'm for that. I can drive with that.
And now that's in my head, I am going to have to figure out how to use the phrase "invoke the Greedo principle" in my day-to-day life.
Oh, the next presentation I have to do in front of somebody, it will be. So what I'd like you to do now is just invoke the Greedo principle, but just throw it in there as if it's normal,
complete normal.
Not go into details about it.
Fit it on a PowerPoint.
Yeah. I'm actually going to mention it to somebody at work tomorrow. Don't worry about it. He'll be well up for it. So, and also as well, they had such high expectations for both the film and the ride. This was going into Disneyland in Anaheim,
right?
As well. That was the plan. I'm not sure where it would have gone, to be honest, because
if it was the Indiana Jones ride and the dinosaur ride technology, would it have gone where Indiana Jones currently is?
Why would it have gone there though?
Was that before or after? I don't know why it would have gone there. I don't know why Disney do the things they do.
Yeah. Be careful you said it, so we can't be negative. But it would have gone somewhere. I mean, you could have seen it definitely fitting in, California Adventure, but that was just a pipe dream at that time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I mean, I'm not sure what really sealed its fate. If it was the violent element of the ride itself, or if it's the fact that in the end Dick Tracy only made $162 million, which nowadays isn't very much. But in 1990, that was still quite a chunk.
Yeah.
But it was about, I think it was just under half of what Batman did. So, and this is the time as well, where Dick Tracy in 1990, we had The Rocketeer in 1991. Both of those were seen as franchises. In fact, The Rocketeer had a ride planned as well.
I can't believe that, yeah.
And because of
the Bulldog Cafe was, again, on the backlot tour for a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me. I can see why it would be there. And that was going to be like an Orbitron kind of thing, but you in a jetpack. And you just kind of like went up and down, pretending you're in a jetpack.
They need to redo it like one of the Six Flags Superman rides where you fly along horizontally.
Oh god, yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
They should remake Rocketeer. There you go, Disney.
Reboot Rocketeer.
I've said that for ages.
Yeah.
Look, if they can't even be bothered to make a sequel to a film that actually made them money, admittedly, how much or not is neither here nor there. Yeah, it certainly made more money than Rocketeer did.
Yeah, but sequels versus reboots. I mean, reboots are the thing. Reboots are the thing to do.
Yes, we're having our third Spider-Man. So
how many Spider-Men do there ever need to be? Really, in as many years almost.
Yeah.
Come on, there's got to be more superheroes than that.
I've got a confession to make.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I've never seen Dick Tracy. Is it any good?
I'm a big advocate of it.
Yeah.
To be honest, like it's you've seen it before as well.
It's not for many years.
Yeah, I didn't watch it for a long time. I remember going to see it when I was a kid.
I think the last time I saw it was 1990.
But I remember going to see it. I had the choice of going to see Back to the Future 3 or Dick Tracy. And although I loved Back to the Future 2, I was like, no, I want to see Dick Tracy because Back to the Future 3 looks a bit boring. I was never a fan of the Western thing.
Well, you kind of know the story. Oh, look, there's a car that travels through time. I mean, how much more original can it be?
Yeah. And at the time as well, they were showing repeats of the Dick Tracy cartoon from like the 60s.
Yep.
So although it was crappy, I was like, this guy has a watch that he can talk into and communicate with people. That's cool.
Shows it was the American market. Shows it was the American market though, because over in England we had Dick Barton, Special Agent,
and Dick Spanner, Private Eye. But I think
Willy
actually
Whacker.
probably was a piss take of that as well. Billy Macker, okay, I'm aware of that one as well actually. But Dick Tracy, I made Lindsay watch it a few years ago. I bought it on DVD. I hadn't seen it for years, and all of a sudden, like I saw a DVD of it quite cheap. I was like, great, I'll have that. And I'd say the storyline isn't the best, and some of the acting's a bit ropey. Some of the acting's great because what they did, because they had to base it on the comic book look, the makeup in it's fantastic.
It's quite sort of almost mask-like.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, there's actors in there that you wouldn't recognise because of like the what they've done to their faces and stuff like that. It's very good in that regard, but it looks like a comic book. Yeah. Like they only use about 10 different colours in the whole film. So everything is like one of these colours, and the style of it is stunning. Like it's a bit like Tron in that regard. It doesn't really look like anything else, and that's either a good thing or a bad thing. I can see why, you know, it wasn't Batman, and they did the wrong thing by trying to think it was going to be the next kind of big franchise thing. But I've got a lot of time for it, so I definitely recommend it if you haven't watched it, especially if you can get it cheap.
I may now have to go and check it out on that their iTunesy thing.
Yeah, I think I paid like about $5 for the DVD.
Yeah.
I paid a bit more for the steelbook when that came out. But I love the art. That's the thing, and that is one thing as well. I will say, although it's a lot of the marketing was all like the creek and everything like that, both the Rocketeer and Dick Tracy had amazing art for their posters.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got the Rocketeer poster still. Well, I've got a copy of the Rocketeer poster from when they came out to the cinema. I love that look, that pulp look, and Dick Tracy's definitely along those kind of lines. So I would do. But again, kind of going back to this, it's just one of those things that you hear every now and again that you just think, what if? Like, what if they actually went through with it and that came out? Yeah. But I'll leave you on this final note about it, because, you know, I'll send over a link, actually. We can put it in the show notes. But there was a lot of concept art around it. And what is interesting is that some of what they were going to have has kind of been reused at Disney Tokyo Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, absolutely. When you see it, and then you see a picture of what they've got at Disney Tokyo Sea, which, you know, see if you can spot the difference. Yeah, it's that. So the interesting thing is that you know, some of that concept was still used, just not for the attraction.
Sure, I feel completely learned now.
Yeah.
Right, can someone bring us back to Earth then?
Oh, don't worry, I'm going to manage that any minute now. Because
I'm going to go look on Amazon for Dick Tracy DVDs.
Yeah, but okay. So
obviously not when you're talking, Paul. Obviously not then.
Feel free, because I can't match that anywhere near, because I've done zero research into this. But I was looking through various Facebook Disney fan user groups and struggling to find the letter D, and I came across this thing I've never come across before. The Dinning Plan.
The Dinning Plan.
The Dinning Plan. DINNING PLAN. I have no idea what the heck the Disney Dinning Plan is.
Invented by Professor Dinning. It was a scheme to convert the world into.
Now, someone somewhere is probably going to have a go at me now for taking the piss out of people who can't spell properly, but it's dining, okay? DINING. You don't need to extend it with an extra N, okay? God's sake. Oh, by the way, that wasn't me on our Facebook page that spelt your with an apostrophe in the wrong place.
That was probably me. I'm slightly dyslexic.
No,
I'll take ownership.
That actually ties in, because do you remember a good few shows ago now, our Antipodean friend Lewis?
He come from a land down under.
He does, yes. He posted us a jar of Vegemite and asked us another question on Facebook. His question, well, he kind of wasn't so much a question as just a statement, really. Kat and I are still planning their trap.
So it's red Greeno. Now got it's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
They're planning their trip to Walt Disney World in February, March next year.
but they've got a bad feeling about it.
Yeah, they're tossing up if it's good value or not to get the dining plan. So not only is it my D, but first of all, you've misspelt it. It's a dinning plan you're after, apparently. But they're considering the deluxe dining plan. So how many more Ds can I fit in one go?
The deluxe, is that like the...
I mean, if I hadn't banned the word Disney, I could actually go for like almost a D cubed there of the Disney deluxe dining plan for their 6-night stay. What do you guys think? Dining plan or not dining plan?
Well, are they talking about paying for it though? They're not getting it free.
Well, with the deluxe, you don't get the deluxe for free, do you?
No. But if they,
unless you're in a deluxe resort, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go, no, I wouldn't go for the deluxe dining plan. The regular dining plan, yeah. The deluxe dining plan is too much food.
Yeah, unless you can actually get through Olympic swimmers' grade quality of food, the sort of thing where you tell you what, I'm just gonna do 850 lengths laps of the pool. We call them lengths. The Americans call them laps, apparently. Don't know. Yeah. So, 800 lengths of a pool, backwards, forwards, and then win a couple of Olympic golds, down 5 bowls of pasta and 8 pizzas. Yeah, by all means, go for the deluxe dining plan. But even following 2 kids and a wife round Disney World, I cannot burn off the amount of calories that will be consumed by the deluxe dining plan.
So, just to be clear, the deluxe dining plan, right, is 3 table service meals per day per person.
Yeah.
And 2 snacks.
I mean, that's so 3 table service meals a day. Mm-hmm. Even taking that as a breakfast, lunch and dinner or evening meal or whatever you want to call it. Most breakfasts are all-you-can-eat buffets anyway.
Yep.
How the hell are you going to get a table service breakfast every day? That takes some doing.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a small lad, but I still couldn't get through that amount of food.
I think as well, it's not even so much that. There's something to be said about table service against counter service. To me, if you're going for a table service, you're looking at at least an hour to 2 hours.
Yeah.
In total. Whilst if you're going counter, then you're probably looking at about half an hour to 45 minutes. I'm taking into account the queuing up as well.
Yeah.
During that,
You make a good point, Nick. You spend half your day in restaurants.
Yeah. And that's it. I mean, they're talking about 6 nights, weren't they, or 6 days?
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about the dining plan before, or the dinning plan before. About
that's so going to stick now, and I'm going to deliberately misspell it and confuse
I almost
people.
swore then. Yeah, I hope so. We've had this before because I've never done it. You guys have, and I think there's definitely pros and cons to doing it against not doing it. And I think, it definitely depends on what you're looking to do. I think if you're planning to spend 6 days in Disney World, a dining plan is a good idea. When we would go for 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, we're spending our time between Disney parks, Universal, SeaWorld, shopping, whatever. I can't justify those days where you're not going to have it, but you're going to be paying for it.
No,
but you're going to be in off site.
I was going to say, the easy way to justify that is the days off site are added up and then used for the multi-ticket venues.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Le Celliers. It's like, I'm going to have a SeaWorld day today, so that gives me an extra point tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like a really negative Weight Watchers, isn't it? How many points have you gone through today? I've had 2. I'm stuffed now.
But at the same time as well, I think, especially because a lot of the time the dining plan is included with your hotels.
Yeah.
Rather than saying you pay on top for, is, and this is what I think is always important for people to think about, is look at the cost of the hotels. Look at the cost of a moderate hotel to, is it economy?
Value.
Sorry,
yeah.
Value to moderate. I think the ones to compare really, rather than the kind of like contemporaries and Animal Kingdom lodges and stuff like that. But look at the cost between those, and then go, right, how long am I there for? What's the difference in price going to be? Then that kind of gives you an idea of how much the dining plan's costing you.
Yeah.
So if you say it's like £400 extra to stay at a nicer hotel, but you get a dining plan for like your 10 days or whatever, £400 10 days, it's like $40 a head. It's probably worthwhile doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I did it recently. I did the comparison recently just for fun. We're not going to Disney this year, but if you go with
you still got to go on the website and just plan.
Oh yeah, you've got
it's rude not to.
Yeah. So I went on and I looked at the 2016 deals, and if you go with the value resorts, then they're giving you like a free breakfast. You don't get a dining plan, but you get a free breakfast. But you can upgrade to the dining plan, and then if you go to most of the moderates, then you get the quick service dining plan free. But again, you can upgrade to the full dining plan, or even the deluxe if you want to. And then there's like 2 DVC properties, Saratoga Springs and Old Key West, that give you the full dining plan, and then all the resorts above that give you the full dining plan. And if you price it out like we did, you've got to go for a more expensive hotel to get the dining plan, but you save some money, so it's kind of halfway in between. It's like you get a moderate resort and like half the dining plan's free. That's how it kind of works out. It's all wrapped up in the price of your hotel, but you do save some money.
And you know full well the dining plan is actually free, because if you ask them to give you the room price without dining plan, it's the same price.
Yeah, so it really is chucked in.
So absolutely free.
And also as well, like I think, especially for people that have stayed at value and moderates, and the like, especially when we've gone, I spend so little time in the hotel room anyway, that as long as it's clean and tidy, I don't really care. I think the only thing really on staying on a moderate to a value is the fact that you might be able to get back from the parks a bit quicker, because they're slightly more near the Magic Kingdom or the parks, whilst the value seems to be further out.
But it's almost like the buses stop there before they stop at the others.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I think when you're kind of weighing those things up, they're the things to take into account. But I think purely from a time element, even forgetting about how much it might cost, for me, I don't think. I think it takes up too much of your time, especially if you're only going to be there for 6 days.
But for me, it's really the amount of food, because we struggle. Yeah. We can do the regular dining plan, quite comfortably. But the thought of doing like a deluxe dining plan, oh my god, no, couldn't handle that amount of food.
But at the same time, but at the same time, what I would say is that whether you decide to go for it or not, you're only there for 6 days. I would try and book in for at least 1, maybe 2, if you can go that far, decent places. So not rumors, California Grill, is one that we love. Le Cellier people love as well. They're 2 off the top of my head, but there's obviously many other really nice restaurants. So I think you need to go to at least 1 or 2 of those.
Which actually leads us nicely, because we had some others, some people, some guests actually answer. Should we go through the guests first, or shall we have the one that Craig phoned in for us?
I think Craig, because he's essentially part of the team, and then we'll kind of reach out to friends and family.
He sent his D for this week was Dole Whip, and everyone else seems to be a fan of Dole Whips. And again, the various forum and Facebook user groups are. F's going to be a great week. The various groups that exist seem to have nothing but good words to say about Dole Whip, but it conjures up bad memories for poor Craig. who went to get a Dole Whip and left his autograph book and his camera on a bench and had them disappear. Did not get handed into lost property, so purloined. So, Dole Whips have bad memories for Craig. He doesn't like them.
Yeah, that is bad times, to be fair.
Yeah.
I've never had a Dole Whip, because I don't think I even knew about them the first time we went and forgot about them by the second time, so I've never had one. What about you guys?
I have deliberately, based on all the hype that surrounds the Dole Whip, actually went and deliberately got one. And we were out there with obviously my wife and kids, and we had a couple of friends that we met up who were staying in a different villa, and we just basically spent most of the days touring around the parks with them. Hello Donna, hello Pete. And I enforced the love of Dole Whip, even though I'd never actually tried them. But wanted to actually sound like, I follow the forums and I'm a big Disney fan, so obviously these things are absolutely gorgeous. And you know what? They're kind of just like, it's like pineapple flavoured ice cream on top of pineapple juice. I could take it, I could leave it.
What about the citrus swirl?
Never tried one of them.
No, I prefer the original.
The Dole Whip itself.
Yeah. The only thing about it, I mean, I really like them. I think they're nice, but they melt so quickly.
They're not nice, but they're a
overhyped.
They're a pineapple flavoured drink with pineapple flavoured ice cream on top of it.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to invoke the love of Dole Whip in their presentation. That's harder than the green one. Yeah.
And at least we got our show title as well.
Invoke the love of Dole Whip.
Invoke the love of Dole Whip, yeah.
I was thinking about the Greedo one, but
either or.
Yeah, that will do. If there's anyone else out there that really wants to invoke the love of Dole Whip, feel free, because we're just not that enthused. They're nice, but would I? Maybe
tell us why. Because I think that's the thing as well.
Have you fallen for the hype?
Yeah, it seems to be that they've got this mythical status.
Yeah,
and I don't get it, because you've described it as it's been described to me, which is it's basically like pineapple, like sorbet or ice cream. It's like, well, then why is it that good?
Yeah,
I've tried pineapple sorbet.
Oh man,
before.
You got to have this. No, it's not like heart attack inducing, and it's the last thing to put an enormous smile on your face before you die. It's not like being caressed by. No, I'm not going to go there. But
it's not Popeye's fried chicken. That's for sure.
Yeah, certainly not. But we had a couple of guests. I say guests. We had a couple of answers on the website, didn't we? Have you checked the Twitter as well?
I am on the Twitter as we speak, and friend of the show, Roger Palmer.
Yeah.
Said, and this is a classic one. I think how this escaped me as a simple one to go with. He just put DuckTales or Woohoo. Now maybe you guys are the wrong age for that. Sorry.
No, I'm aware of it.
Not to not know about it.
No, but just let me phone Josh.
He does love DuckTales.
He does love DuckTales. That is a D for him.
But I mean, that was massive. That was probably the biggest cartoon when, after your He-Mans and Thundercats and stuff like that. That was massive. DuckTales and Gummy Bears were the two big Disney cartoons when I was a wee kid, and I think more than any other kind of Disney afternoon cartoon. Maybe because it had Scrooge McDuck in it, and he's cool. It's just really stood the test of time.
Excellent. Is that it? That's everyone that's tweeted us.
We haven't had the absolute obvious one.
What? That depends where we're going.
D. Have we got any more D's to come?
Well, Lewis has gone with Daisy Duck.
No, still haven't had it.
See, Daisy Duck, apparently, if the exact quote, and obviously this is Lewis's opinion and not necessarily ours, although we agree with him, not only is she quite clearly a goer, but she might be the only one of females Bill Cosby met at Disneyland that he didn't slip a Mickey to.
Well, you see, with the Daisy and the Duck,
At what point am I supposed to use the word allegedly?
Oh no! I think
Too
to be
late
honest,
for that.
I think we're well past the point of needing to use allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
I will quite happily say it if you need to. I'll find the lawyers later on. I think he's very open that that's exactly what he is. And the pudding. Yeah. You know what though? I think he's right about.
I don't know,
being
but
a
why are
goer.
you doing impressions of Macho Man Randy Savage?
Did you not know that Macho Man Randy Savage based his entire gimmick on the Cosby Show? Yeah, I think she's a bit of a go, to be honest. If you watch Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse, her catchphrase is "goody goody," and she says it in just such a way that I think, yeah, you know what, with the eyelashes and everything.
There's when he rings
He has eyelashes as well, I know, but you know, there's just something about the bows and.
Is she exactly the same? Is she the same as Donald? That she wanders around with a jacket on the top half and nothing but feathers on the bottom half.
Jesus. You know what? When you watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse as often as I do, you kind of zone out. That's a good point. Let me have a look while I'm doing that. That's good. Do you want to?
Except when he steps out of the shower and then he's got a towel around him.
Yeah. Which never made any sense to anyone. If you want to, do you want to do Vicky's?
Yes. Yeah. Why not?
While I'm doing that.
Well, other than taking the mickey out of our misuse of an apostrophe.
Rightfully so, to be fair.
I feel so. Yes. I feel I couldn't be bothered to edit it. So no, someone has edited it. That definitely has been edited. Yeah. Was it Craig or was that you?
Well, we'll put it this way: there's three of us on here right now,
yeah,
and none of us have edited it.
Okay.
No.
Well, great. Thank you. Basically, Vicky, your D was for decisions. Where to stay, which fast passes to book, which ADR to get. ADR, the Advanced Dining Reservation. That's true. There are some serious decisions to be made with the average Walt Disney World holiday.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, to be honest, that can apply to all of them. I think it's probably more apt with Disney World than the others. And this goes back to the money grabbing, what I was trying to, my argument I was having with somebody on a public social network, is that, especially now that you have this system where if you book directly with Disney, you basically get a much bigger window to be able to book all of your fast passes for everything, including meeting the guy that paints pictures on the floor using water and a brush. I'm sure he's got a fast pass for himself. The more money you spend with Disney, the more money you have gives you more privileges.
Yeah,
that to me is a money grabbing scheme. I love Disney. Doesn't stop them being money grabbing orientated people. It's just what it is. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it's much easier to have those decisions. Well, no, I was going to say it's much easier to have those decisions in a smaller park like Disneyland Paris or Disneyland. But let's be honest, you're going to be there for a much shorter time.
Yeah.
So actually, it may be harder to do that than it is to do it on a 2-week vacation. I don't know. But decisions is a massive D.
Oh, the decisions even start before then. Like, do you land at McCoy or do you land at Sanford?
McCoy.
MCO. McCoy.
McCoy. What's the other one?
It's
got another name though, isn't it? Well, you threw me there.
Orlando International Airport.
Yeah, but it's called something else though. Mick something. What's it called?
It's McLaren.
McLaren, is it?
No, it's
something
McCoy.
like that.
It used to be McCoy Air Force Base.
McCoy, is it? All right. Fair enough.
McCoy
the real one.
MCO, McCoy Orlando.
Right.
Yeah. But then it's now Orlando International Airport.
Oh, McLaren's Vegas, sorry.
Yeah.
I know I'd heard it somewhere.
Or is that McCarran?
Well, all I know is it's another airport that I got stopped at immigration in. So
every time, don't go through Frankfurt then, because it's just there. Scanners are incredible.
Okay.
I've been picked up wearing tracksuit trousers and a t-shirt and absolutely no metal whatsoever. Take the rings and the watch off because I know what they're like there, and they were still fucking beep.
To be fair, it had nothing to do with beeping. It was all about a failed essay that I once did.
Oh, okay.
I've just I really need to go to the American Embassy and get it taken off because it's going to happen every time.
Yeah.
But I've just looked up Daisy Duck while I've been talking.
Yeah.
And Daisy Duck is like Donald.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice pink jacket on the top.
Business on the top.
Casual one.
Party down below.
There are so many titles for this week's show. I haven't got a clue what it is.
You guys are weird. I mean, Jessica Rabbit, I get it. Daisy Duck.
No, I'm not saying I would. I mean, look, I've seen Howard the Duck. You know, that film is kind of creepy. So I'm not saying I'm going to get my rocks off, but I'm just purely because there's clothing on the top and not on the bottom. Business on top, part at the bottom. That's all that meant. That's all it meant.
Each to their own, but a Disney park has to be the worst place in the world to be a furry. Or the best, depending on your particular point of view.
I think it does depend on the character as well.
Oh, Little John. And on that note...
Hang on a second.
What?
We haven't had the most obvious D yet.
No, you're right. Bring it on.
Do you know what it is? I'll give you a clue.
Far away, go on.
I'll give you a clue. It used to be a C before it was a D.
My wife's... No, hang on a minute.
How comes everyone's head just went into that same gutter?
Only mine just came out the mouth and I heard myself say it. Thinking this is going to...
All right, I'll get more specific. It used to be Countdown to Extinction.
Oh.
Dinosaur.
And now it's Dinosaur.
It is.
Oh, I did mention the vehicle technology.
You did?
Yeah.
But that's as far as it went.
Yeah.
That, to be honest, when we started recording, I thought, hang on a second, and all this excitement of reading about what Craig's got to say, anything like that, I've completely forgotten that once again, I'm starting a show without a D. And that's true, like the whole Dick Tracy thing, that started when we started recording. I was like, oh yeah, Dick Tracy.
Google.
And then, no, that was a weird thing. I've got this stupid head where the important things in life, like things to do with work, I struggle to kind of remember sometimes.
I hope
Dick Tracy's Crime Stoppers.
I hope your bosses listen to this because you actually call work important.
Yeah, well, I tell them that.
It's good to know. It's good to know because the rest of us just think
that's a skill.
It's a means of just paying for Disney holidays.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I had a brief obsession with Disney rides that never got made. So that's how I remembered it. But yeah, and I actually quite like the dinosaur ride.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah,
I think it's all right. It's true, yeah. Especially when you look at that land and what's actually there to attend to, and
there's
a half-day park.
One slightly, I don't want to say serious ride because it's about time travelling, but one ride that is actually more of a thrill-based ride, and then you walk across and there's Chester and Hester's Dino-Rama.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's still there. I really can't.
Quick, fill the space.
Yeah, something decent.
Yeah.
No,
I think I just feel like space was something.
Yeah.
I think Diesel was off the table.
Maybe when the good dinosaur comes out, we'll get a new raid.
But when they've finished Avatar,
they'll probably just like repaint it.
Yeah.
For the good dinosaur, that'll be as far as it goes.
Yeah, good dinosaur spin.
Ooh. Well, I think by the next time we get together and record a show, Inside Out would have come out.
Yeah. Well, I have actually seen Ant-Man this weekend, so maybe we could talk about that next time.
We just missed out on A.
If we could shoehorn it into an E somehow.
Yeah.
What's the guys? No, I don't think any of the characters are called E.
I don't know. We'll figure it out somehow. Just shoehorn it. It'll do fine.
There you go. So we never normally leave ourselves on a cliffhanger, but
on that bombshell,
he's actually got a cliffhanger for next show.
Yeah. Anyway.
Possibly 2 movie reviews.
Bring it on. Bring it on. I realised I'd moved away from the microphone then, and so that would do my audio no good whatsoever.
It wouldn't. But the good thing is you're back, and hopefully you will be.
Yeah.
For our next show.
For our next show, yeah. Where, if you want to tune into us and you haven't already got the hang of where you can find us,
then you can find us via our website, which is www.DisAfterDark.com. Excellent segue. Or you can email us at podcast@DisAfterDark.com.
We're also at DisAfterDark on Twitter, facebook.com/DisAfterDark, begins with a D, and MiceChat.com.
And YouTube, DisAfterDark Podcast. Instagram.
Periscope.
Probably under DisAfterDark. What are we under Periscope? Is it you, Soapdish?
No. DisAfterDark.
Oh, excellent.
DisAfterDark, yeah. Craig set it up, so he set it up properly.
Good lad.
And I actually Periscoped last week the Lilo and Stitch thing, which I actually got some feedback on. Positive. And we had someone join from Mexico City.
Way arriba.
Which was kind of crazy. I don't have to listen to the podcast or not. And if you are, shout out.
Get in contact.
Yeah, get in contact because we will give you a proper shout out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of blew people's minds to the point that people then started to try and find if there was any more discrepancies between UK and US versions of Disney films. I don't think anyone's found any more, but that's definitely a new game.
And a good game it is. But, again, in that case, gentlemen, thank you for joining us in the bar. Dear listener, thank you for joining us. And we will speak to you all again in 2 weeks-ish time. So, I have to add an ish now because I don't know. It's about then.
Yeah. It'll be out at some point.
Yeah, soon.
Growing older is mandatory. Growing up is optional. Dis After Dark, the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
I can't believe we're being silent over this for change.
I think we're mourning missing Craig.
That is true.
I know. Come back. You're the funniest one on here.
You're the cheese in our cheese toasty. Without you, we'd just be cooked bread. By the way, is there anything wrong with calling bread raw toast?
I don't think so.
Because I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think I'm an idiot.
I don't know. There we go. So, listeners, if you know anything about raw toast, yeah. On that note, we're out.